underappreciated deck guy.
Now, is he still playing?
He just started playing again.
Well, that's exciting.
He is in Seattle, and he's a park ranger.
Interesting.
So if you're in the Seattle area and you know Jacob Janoska, that guy's a heavy hitter.
Now, hopefully he'll be making an appearance. Like, even if he doesn't play at Worlds, or not Worlds, in Seattle.
Yeah.
If he just shows up, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I believe he has 2 Grand Prix top 8s, at least one. But a Milwaukee player that just very,
he
very
used to be
respectable.
part of the Wisconsin scene, right? Like,
Absolutely. In fact, the Milwaukee Magic scene entirely was because of Jacob Janoska.
Wow.
Like, he was the person that made the Milwaukee Magic scene happen.
So Dan Jordan, who we saw earlier playing Rug Pod, leads off in the Copperline Gorge. He's against Mike Cox playing Blue White Delver. I don't know, but I believe is his list pretty straightforward. I mean, he has Geist of St. Traft, not Blade Splicer, but for the most part, it's you know, nothing really new to see here. You know, he's the bad guy. He is the enemy.
It's traditional, right there. 21 lands. 3 Geist is a little interesting because often you'd see 4 Geist from these versions of these decks. So
You got to cut somewhere sometimes.
Right?
What makes me a little sad is no Augur of Bolas. No, I'm telling you, I think that Augur of Bolas. The first thing I'm working on when I play Standard is Augur of Bolas in control decks. The guy is so good.
And Dan Jordan, we saw earlier in round 3 defeat Josh Cho.
Augur of Bolas is like a better Court Hussar.
That's bold. That's bold. 2 mana is a lot less than
2
3
mana
with 2
is,
colors.
2 mana is like several mana less than 3.
Yeah, well, especially 2 colors of mana.
Eternal, like, look how good Eternal Witness was, and yet Snapcaster is completely head and shoulders above it. 2 is so much less than 3.
It's really amazing how much mana scales in terms of, you know, how much more one level is than the next.
Yes. Like, we used to always talk about, like, how much more mana is 7 compared to 6.
So much more.
It's like, what, 45, 50% more?
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
How much more mana is sorcery compared to instant?
It's completely contextual.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, a sorcery speed mana leak is horrible.
And Cavern naming Wizard, perhaps? Angel. Angel's another possibility. There we go. Angel.
In my experience, usually, if a card costs 1 mana more and is an instant, it's weaker.
That is really strange.
What?
Never mind. There's a Huntmaster. I was wondering why he main faced his Angel, and it was because Huntmaster would stop from flipping.
Yep.
That's good news for Dan Jordan, though. It means that he can expect that Mike has a reactive hand, currently tapped out, and he can probably safely flip that Huntmaster if he wants.
Well, he could be hit by a Vapor Snag, though.
That's fair.
It's always very dicey to have to Vapor Snag a Huntmaster anyway.
Do I see a Jace in Mike Cox's hand?
We're after board, and
It's
Cox
true.
definitely has them in his board. This is not a bad matchup for him anyway. It's not that bad. It's not that good. It's definitely not that good, but he might not know, like, we don't know the texture of their earlier games.
This is true.
If Jordan was playing more of an Elvish Visionary style instead of a Strangler Geist style, often the Jace memory depth can come down and not die that first hit. And if Cox has enough interaction, it also might just be that Cox is used to the fact that Jace is a good card against the Naya decks. I don't know how it is against the Rug decks, but...
Jace has a come at me quality that's reminiscent of Gideon. Oh boy. Dan copies the Angel, brings back the Huntmaster, gains 2 life, gets a wolf. Oh. Is he gonna Arc Trail maybe? Arc Trail, there it is. Clear the table. Dan in really good shape here. Very few cards for Mike Cox to use to pull out of this.
Yeah, one of the problems with these tempo decks, it's very, like, a lot, particularly the blue-white ones, they don't really have anything for when they're losing. They're just sort of like, well, hopefully we're just winning the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, if we had Blade Splicer in here, if he slowed down a little bit for that instead of running the Geists, it's one of the incentives is to be able to put something down to gum up the table so that an attacking opponent is a much more sad opponent. And...
Wow, he's got negate?
5 mana. Jace.
Not the greatest Jace.
Is this going to be 5 mana, draw a card, gain 5 life?
It's possible it's gained 6 life.
I mean, with Mike's life total so low.
It's also possible that it's just draw 2.
Yeah. Draw 2 and die. I mean, if Mike can recover from this.
If you gotta die,
drawing
wow. 2 is
Kessig Wolf Run. Boom. That's 6, 8, 10. I think something was coming at Jace though. And then the death. There it is. So it's 10. And the kill. Dan Jordan, not distracted by Jace.
Pay no attention to the planeswalker with the hood.
2-1 victory for Dan Jordan. Dan Jordan doing really well on the camera today. Every time that he's been on the camera, he's just totally taken it down. So, good on him.
Dude, Dan Jordan, very strong player. It's interesting. He's one of the people who I kind of imagine that in the next year or two, we're going to end up like